Hi, Dawn here from Enzo's, where it's not about the dog.
If you're new with us, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we answer your questions. Hey, Dawn, I got a great question.
Yes, Karen, what's your question today?
Does my dog love me?
Oh. No, Karen, your dog doesn't love you. Okay, so let's start out with that big word.
Oh, the big word. Anthropomorphizing.
Okay, say that again.
Anthropomorphizing.
I think it's funny because I feel like every time we say it, it's going to sound a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is, the actual definition, you guys, is the attributing of human characteristics or behaviors to a god, an animal, or an object.
Oh, a god.
A god. I know.
I didn't know it had god in it.
Yeah, to your god, your animal, an animal, or an object, right?
Okay.
So an object is inanimate. So does this coffee cup love me? I love this coffee cup. If anybody didn't notice, it has a kitty on it. It has a kitty on both sides. So I like the mugs that have them on both. But I love kitties too. So it's my kitty cup. I knew Karen was going to laugh at that one. So
Why don't you marry it then?
No, my coffee cup does not love me. Right? God, that's a whole other subject.
We're not going to go there.
We're not even going to tackle that one. And then an animal. So I think it's interesting that word, anthropomorphizing, is attributing of a human characteristic. So we have characteristics, right? We have emotions, we have characteristics, like taking that and putting it on an animal or an object, right?
So what does that mean? So if I say to people all the time, your dog doesn't love you, and they get super offended.
Yeah.
They're like, no, my dog loves me. I know my dog loves me because he does this and he does that and he does this. And I'm like, well, let's break it down. Why does he do that? So let's say I know my dog loves me because he leans on me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? He is leaning on you because he wants something or wants you to do something. Mm-hmm. Or he's claiming you as his.
Yep.
Doesn't have anything to do with love. Okay? Mm-hmm. These are dogs. Mm-hmm. And we can't put human emotions on them.
Yep.
He loves me because he does everything I say. Mm-hmm. So what's that?
Well, he probably wants something, needs something, right? What do we give our dogs? We give them shelter. Mm-hmm. We give them food. We give them affection. We give them everything, right? We give our dogs, most of us, more things than we give our children.
Yeah.
If you just ask my teenager, so I'll be like, my mom gives, Clark and Abby and Lola more than us. But think about it. So you bring a dog home and you instantly give it everything you think it wants. You give it affection, you give it a name, you give it new toys. I mean, oh my gosh.
Beds.
It is not the adoption fees that cost money. It is all the stuff you go to the pet store and buy thinking you need it. And then how many times you don't end up donating that stuff because your dog really doesn't need it all.
Yeah.
But,
or they eat it.
I do have one client who's really, it's a man too, and he has a boxer, and I have never seen the dog, and I've known them for about 5 years now, since 2015. I've never seen the dog in the same collar twice. He has a different collar probably for every day, which I think is adorable. But does the dog need that? No. So yeah, the first thing is, and if you haven't seen, I just talking to Karen about the meme that's going around. It's a wolf. It's a wolf, and he's got he's talking to himself, and in the distance it's cavemen with a fire, and the little bubbles coming out of the wolf's head are what could go wrong. What could go wrong,
and
right?
Then the next little picture.
The next picture is a dog with pointy ears that could be a wolf, but it's not a wolf. Dressed up in a costume, like sitting in
a bag.
Just the most ridiculous thing, right? In a bag, being held by the person. So what could go wrong, you guys?
We've kind of ruined the dog thing. The wolf thing.
The wolf thing. So, does my dog love me? I
think that they appreciate us for what we can do for them.
Absolutely. They're master manipulators. So
Master
whatever they can get,
manipulators,
they're they're so much smarter than us. We think we are the top. We are not. Here's a good one. I was once, this was a couple years ago, I was downtown with my dogs. I was walking along and I was doing some training work. I was on the Oregon side on the waterfront there. And a homeless guy walked up to me and he says, "Who's in charge here?" And it was myself and my dogs and a client and her dogs. And I said, "Well, what do you mean in charge?" He said, he goes, "Well, obviously it's your dog because you're carrying his poop." And honestly, I was like, touche, sir, touche, because it's truthful, right? It's very truthful.
But let's think this through. So does my dog love me? I'm not trying to say to you to get your feelings hurt, or I'm dead inside because I can't accept that my dogs don't love me or whatever. But it's one of the reasons that makes our lives easier, because we can rehome dogs. We can rescue dogs and rehome them, because any person can provide what that dog needs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the reason we can rehome the dogs is because they're getting what they need and they're okay with that. It's not because they realize they could love more than one person. Mm-mm. It's just they are having their needs met. Yeah. And they're happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or I guess I shouldn't say happy because that's anamorphalizing.
I don't think we're ever. Somebody's going to call in and say, that is not how you say that word. Yeah.
And we do that. So happy, we say the dogs are happy. We say the dogs feel guilty. We say the dogs feel jealous. We got to be really careful about putting these emotions on dogs.
Putting human emotions. And, it's not our fault. It's all we know. Yeah. Right? All I know is I like this. I don't like this. Right? Mm-hmm. We add human emotions so often.
And so the reason I brought this topic up is because by not adding human emotions, it makes it easier for us to understand, work with, and train our dogs.
Absolutely. Like then you really, and we've said it to people before. In fact, you're working with a service dog right now, and we were working on what is that dog's like favorite thing. And the woman was like, "Well, me, right? I'm his favorite thing." And we were like, "No." Mm-mm. And then she pulled out, was it a ball? Mm-hmm. It was a ball. Then she pulled out a ball and
his whole demeanor, everything changed.
Everything changed. So his reward was the ball. Like, don't be so narcissistic to think that you're his reward. My dogs love me. They absolutely do. They don't. They love playing. They love what I give them. So when I get home tonight, Clark is going to bring me his. I just got them new Jolly Balls. They love the Jolly Balls. He's going to bring me a Jolly Ball, and Abby's going to bring me a Jolly Ball, and we are going to go outside and play, and they are going to be thrilled, and then they're going to come in and have food and all that. But they don't just want me to go up and do this to them, right? Mm-hmm. So with that service dog we're working with, the first time he walked in like this, head down, looking at the ground. By the time he left and we figured out his actual reward was the ball, he was like, "What can I do for you, Mom?" He was actually being of service to his mom, the way that he was trained to. And was trained to as a service dog. He just had kind of lost his umph for it. He had lost kind of
joy.
His personality, not joy. See, we can't add those. He had lost that personality of I want to work for you. He became robotic and I was working for you, which is fine. But we had to find a connection. We had to reconnect those two so that because he would go work with Karen too, or anybody who was working him. That was his thing, was the ball. So finding that with your dog. So does your dog love you? You can. It's just a different thing. Do they need you? Absolutely. Do they want to be with you? My dogs would rather be with me than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. But it's just because what you provide for them.
It's what I provide for them. And if I want to believe in my head that they love me, then I'm going to believe that in my head. But I want you to know the truth. And the truth is that's a human emotion. So
good way to put it.
Yeah.
Good way to end that.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Thanks, you guys. And remember, again, it's not about the dog.
Mm-mm.